Hey there, Carol Ann here. Thought I'd narrate a video and see how that goes. This is me in time lapse making a line drawing of a photo reference, which you'll see in a few minutes here. When you do a watercolor painting, you don't want to add shading or any detail. You want lines, so I'm just including lines. You'll see like a line across the forehead there. That's where the light creates a shadow. And I'm going to let the watercolor do the work. But I want that line there to kind of guide me, but also it creates a nice effect once you cover it with watercolor and the pencil shines through a little. See how easily that's erased? I'm barely pressing with my pencil. If you press too hard, you'll create little grooves and your watercolor paint will pick it up and you'll never get it out of there. There's me tracing my glasses. I tried perfect circles with just me and my hand, but it wasn't working out, so I went the easy route. I found something to trace with. And then I found something a little bit smaller to trace with. So this painting, it's a creative work. It's been in my mind for about a year. I had this image of doing a watercolor painting with just these big glasses that had these lenses that you could flip in or out. And based on which color or which lens you had, or two lenses or three lenses at the same time, it would change your perspective from which you saw the world, what your experience is based on what lens you have in. So maybe you could think of one lens as anger, or one lens as love, one lens as personal power, one lens as kindness, whatever. You pick. They're your lenses. Just adding a little more hair there. Fixing the shape. It's difficult to do a half face. I enjoy the look of it, but it is difficult to capture, for me anyway, without having those other parts of the face there to line up to make sure your perspective's correct. Perspective. Anyway, here's me adding some masking fluid. You can see I've already added it around the edge of her hair. I'm just filling these lenses in with masking fluid so that I can just freely paint. I don't have to worry about keeping any lines crisp around those frames of the glasses. And it's really enjoyable to paint that way. You don't have to be quite so careful. You can keep what you want to be white, you can keep it white. Because in watercolor, the white of the paper is the white. So anyway, these glasses have been in my mind for a year. I have almost done them several times. It's funny how it comes about, though. If you're supposed to make something, the conditions will lead you there. Okay, so even though I've been planning on it, I haven't got around to it. I usually work in oils or pencil or acrylic. Last year I really got into acrylic. And my poor little watercolor paints were being neglected, sitting in a box. But anyway, a few weeks ago, a woman contacted me and wanted to learn how to paint with watercolors. So I thought, oh boy, I let her know it's been a while, but I would gladly guide her. So I thought, I better get my watercolors out and give it a go. And it got me going, and I've really been enjoying it. Done a few eye paintings, and before I put them away and got back to my commissions in oil and pencil, I really wanted to do this creative piece. So I was all set to do this painting, and then in my memories pops up this photo that I took 4 years ago of my oldest daughter, and it's just such a cute photo. She just came home from work. I was outside, and I begged her to let me take her picture because she was so sunshiny and pink. She had pink space buns in her hair and pink glasses and pink shirt and pink bow and pink everything. Her skin is an undertone of pink. She just looked so cute. So that came up in my memories the same day I had my paper here taped off and ready to paint these giant glasses, and I was like, wow, you know what? That's the perfect. I had a whole other photo picked out. But that's what you got to do when you get creative. You have to leave yourself open to whatever opportunities present themselves, whatever inspiration shows up for you. So that's what I do, and this is what happened. Also, there are a few clouds above her. Oh, this is probably my favorite part, this background. So I have my masking fluid down. It's not going to get on her face, so I can just freely lay down the paint in water. So I covered it with water. And I mixed up some ultramarine blue, some burnt umber, and just a cheap watercolor tube from Dollar General, and it's simply called blue. So I don't know, maybe cerulean blue. It's a light blue, a lighter blue. Anyway, I mixed these up in my pan and laid in the background. It's kind of a stormy, cloudy background. All those white squiggles, that's masking fluid. That was also an accident. I just liked the way it looked, so I kept going. There's drips from the clouds because I accidentally dripped one on her glasses down her cheek, and I thought, that's cool, and so I kept it. And that's the way you do creative stuff. You just you're the tool, and you let it happen. And I just removed the drip down her cheek. So yeah. So I did this painting before all the controversy that happened last week. And I thought it was really fitting. I don't know. I didn't know why I was painting this. I didn't know why it was in me to do it right now. I mean, I was led there because I was getting ready to put away my watercolors, and I really wanted to do it. But how appropriate and how, I don't know, serendipitous that it happened. I really love the cloudiness. And then she's so bright and sunshiny, and the colors on her are very vivid and rich with very little mixing. I mixed the hair. I think I used ultramarine blue, burnt umber, and I think I put a little crimson in there, so it's a purpley, dark, almost black. So when you do watercolor paint, you want to keep, so see that area there that I did on her cheek just now? I let the light part dry before I added that dark part. So you can work in layers, but also if you have an active area going that's very wet, if you touch it to another area, they're going to blend together and you're going to get what's called a backwash. And it's just going to spread out, and maybe you don't want that. Or if you're being creative, maybe you do want that. So it's really up to you. It's fun to just play and kind of let the paint do what it's going to do. But, you know, you do have to learn the rules so you can kind of lead the dance. Or at least dance along with it. Keep up with it. So I decided purple would be the lens she's looking through right now. In my vision, I had all different color lenses because all the colors together make white, and the absence of any color is black. So if you put all the colors of your lenses down, maybe you'll just see the lightest, brightest white. See what I did there with the primary colors? So it's red yellow, and blue are the three lenses, but when you put them together, or they overlap, it makes the secondary colors of orange and green. Of course, blue and red would make purple, but we needed another lens for something interesting. Maybe it doesn't make perfect sense, but hey, that's the wonderful thing about art. It doesn't have to. Whatever you feel. It's just the act of doing it that's so freeing and great. Whatever's inside you can come out to play. Here's me. I'm removing the masking fluid from the edges of her hair. See that white space between her ponytail or space bun and the glasses? That's a pink bow. But she also had pink space buns because the ends of her hair were pink. I just love the look of it. Like I said, 4 years ago, maybe that ship sailed trend-wise, but who cares? I love it. It's so bright, colorful, sunshiny. She is my sunshine. This is my oldest daughter, and she's wonderful. She's a good person. Anyway, so she has very curly hair, so I'm painting curls. And it kind of matches the squiggles in the clouds, which kind of looks cool. I like that one little curl flying off to the side too. You see all the little white spaces I'm leaving? That's protecting it from running together and just making one big blob. And then I go back in after it's dried a little. That's why I move around so much in my paintings, because I'm giving it the opportunity to set or dry, rest for a minute before I add another layer to it. Those darker parts, that was still wet, but I wanted to add some shadows, some depth to the hair. Then after it dries, like see there, with the lip area, I'm softening it up. I'm softening the edges by using clean water and a paper towel. So you get your brush wet, and then you kind of tap it on your paper towel to take off most of the moisture. That way it's just damp. And then you put the clean water on your dried paint area, wherever you want to remove the paint or make the paint look different. Maybe soften an edge. And you can do that. There is a way to do that while it's wet also. Well, time to add the pink bow. I'm trying to be kind of careful here with my shapes so that it doesn't just blend right into the ponytail or the space bun. What a great name, right? Space buns. And the sun is shining right on that bow, so it's a whole different texture than her hair. And I really wanted to differentiate. There I'm kind of adding the shapes of her hair behind the lenses, but in the same color as the lens. So you can kind of see through the lens there. Same thing, lifting out some paint in the middle there just to create a nice effect. Oh, here's some ASMR for you. We're removing the masking fluid. So satisfying and also terrifying to see what result we have. Think of this as the silver lining. She's shining on the clouds and it's bright. There. So we've removed the masking fluid. But we got to make some touch-ups because that masking fluid, it kind of goes where it wants. So I'm just cleaning up the edges around. Make it look a little more crisp. I just love the look of it. Someone else posted something yesterday, like after I painted this. I like quotes and memes. I like inspirational things. So there was a post that said, the rainbows can only come after the rain. So hey, how perfect is that for this? I love it. I get inspiration from everywhere. Maybe that's just the way my mind is. Just always collecting. I didn't like the brightness of her lips there, so I decided to just calm them down a little bit. So they're right at the bottom of the painting, and it made the way she looked, I don't know, almost angry. So I softened them a little. I actually went in and softened